So in the faith I grew up in, every Sunday we would say this affirmation: I am not worthy, but only say the word and I shall be healed. And I said it for decades growing up. And something happened somewhere in my 30s where something just didn't resonate around that. And I remember just as it was coming up that I thought, I don't think I want to say that out loud, that I am not worthy. So I didn't, and I just kind of let it. I heard the others say it, and for a number of Sundays after that, I stopped and didn't affirm that out loud. And I never really stopped to investigate where that came from. So I looked it up the other day, and there actually is a story in Scripture where a centurion goes to Jesus, and he's asking for Jesus' help because his servant is ill. And his servant has been dutiful and does everything that he asks him to do. But he's very, very ill, and he's very worried about him. And he goes to Jesus. And it's the centurion who says, gee, I have plenty of money. I have servants. I don't always live like I should. And that's when he asks Jesus, and he says, I am not worthy for you to step into my house. But he actually says, but only say the word and my servant will be healed. And my servant will be healed. And the affirmation was changed, was created by the powers that be, and it was introduced into that faith tradition. Somewhere in our lives, I think we come to a place where we're really sure that there's something that doesn't work for us. And I think that's a good place to be. To know that there's something that you need to cast out of your life and move to something new. Even if you don't know what the new is. Because at the time I said, I won't say that again, I didn't know what else there was out there to affirm. I didn't even know anything about affirming anything for my life. That was not a part of my life and what I do. I was really just in a faith tradition, and I repeated what I was told to repeat, what I learned to repeat, and what I had been saying always and forever since a little girl, and I learned how to talk. I just repeated the prayers. And so at some point, something kicked in the brain and said, wait a minute, what am I saying and why? What am I saying and why? Because if I say it out loud, I'm saying this is my life, this is who I am. And I think at that point, I had gotten really tired of feeling not worthy. Really tired. I don't know if you can get more tired than I was of not feeling worthy. And I believe the first step in saying you want something else is affirming and knowing what it is you're going to stop. So it felt kind of sacrilegious at first to not do that, because I was taught to just do it and say it. Just do it and say it. Do it and say it. But everything within me was saying, nope, can't say it, can't say it. And even as others said it, I started to say, I am worthy. I am worthy. I am good. I am, and then it came to me, made in the image and likeness of God. I must be worthy. How can I not be? I'm the one who needs to come to that realization about my worthiness. And then that started a trajectory for me towards something more positive in my life and something that meant something to my heart and my soul. I needed something that spoke to the very heart of me. We all need something that speaks to the very heart of us. And if you don't, I invite you to go look. But find out first what's not working. What's not working? What is it in your life right now that just doesn't fit? And you know it doesn't fit. You know it doesn't. But maybe it's a pattern. Maybe it's something rote that you've been saying forever. Maybe it's just your pattern. Maybe it's how you grew up. Maybe that's what your parents always said. Maybe that was the family consciousness, and we all have one. We all have a family consciousness, whether you realize it or not. And then you go out and live it unconsciously until you realize, oh, I have a choice here. I have a choice. I can still love the people who brought me into this world and who taught me what they thought I should be taught, who gave me the best that they had. And I need to step forward into something new, or in a new way, with a new reality for me. It doesn't mean we have to throw out what was there, because I certainly appreciate deeply that my parents gave me a reverence for God and for life, and a practice, a spiritual practice. Because it did, something about that spoke to me for a while, and then it didn't. And that's okay. Because I'm not the same at 30 as I was at 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10 and 15 and 20. Thank God. Whew. So I started to affirm something different. And my life shifted dramatically. Because then all the other stuff in my life that was out of alignment with me being worthy of all good started to drip away. Easily. Maybe there was 1 or 2 friendships that I had to let go of and say, okay, not doing this anymore, because this isn't healthy for me. And I bless you on your way. Go fly somewhere else, with someone else. And they easily just ripped away. They did. Then I started paying attention to other things I was saying and doing that didn't serve me. So my 20s and 30s, I was a party girl. I was out every Thursday, Friday, Saturday night dancing. Every Thursday, Friday, Saturday night. And a lot of nights till the sun came up in the morning, because we were out having breakfast after we partied all night. But I also had energy for that. And somewhere in my 30s, that started to wither away, some of that energy to be up at 3 in the morning having breakfast in Bob's Big Boy with the girls. But at some point, that didn't feed me either. Because once my body was rebelling against that kind of schedule, I didn't feel good, and I wanted to feel good. I wanted more vitality. I wanted more life in my day. I really did. And so I thought, oh, okay, means I got to come home early. And I was always an early to bed, early to rise girl, except for Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But I was still getting up early. Because that's what I do. My eyes open at 5:30 in the morning, and I'm up. I'm good. I'm up. I'm doing things. Life is happening. And so I started to go to bed earlier. I would eat, this is a confession. a pint of Haagen-Dazs as stress relief. I mean, it was good too. I don't know if they still have Haagen-Dazs ice cream. Whew, man, I love that. But I could go through and I wouldn't get a bowl because you can't waste time spooning the ice cream into a bowl. I would just get a towel, put it under the pint, and eat out of the pint. And then I realized at some point, if I continue to do this, I'm going to have a heart attack at 35. My arteries are probably laden with ice cream. So I stopped. It didn't work for me. It didn't work anymore. And I had to find some other way to relieve stress. And that's when I started meditating. That's when other things, other good things started to come into my life. More quiet time, solitude time, prayer time. Reading different kinds of books. So I always loved to read, so I was always reading a novel, but then I started also reading some book that inspired me, to lift me up, to help me know what it is I wanted to fill in those voids that I had now, because I had gotten rid of garbage in my life. Garbage in, garbage out. And life kept changing dramatically. Relationships got better and better. I felt better and better. I had more energy for life, which is what I wanted. My friendships were better. They were deeper, more life-affirming. I had no toxic relationships anymore. No drama. All the drama was gone. But I had to find out what I didn't want and start adding in what I did want. Calling in goodness in life. And some of those habits were really hard to break. Man, I didn't want to give up the ice cream. I didn't, because I grew up eating ice cream. My grandmother had every single flavor of ice cream for everybody she loved in her freezer all the time. She knew what you wanted, and when you came over, you got a bowl of ice cream. Often after dinner during the week, we had a bowl of ice cream. And it wasn't a tiny little bowl of ice cream. It was a big bowl of ice cream. That's why I needed a pint, because I was used to eating that much ice cream. Those patterns were hard to break, but I kept at it because I knew what I wanted. I think I graduated from ice cream to like gelato, or what do they call it? Sherbet. So I went there, and then I started eating less of it, and then I thought, I can't control this, so I just didn't buy it anymore. Because if it was in the freezer, I was going to eat it. So I knew not to bring it home. So I knew my weaknesses. I started to know what my strengths were and build upon those, and life got better, life got better, life got better. But we got to know what it is we don't want so we can call in the good. The good. We have no space for the good as long as we're still playing games with life and with ourselves. As long as we are still playing around with the negative, with the toxic, with the drama, but the things that don't serve us, saying things about ourselves to ourselves, about ways that we don't want to live and ways that are contrary to who and what we are. So there's the rub. You got to figure out who you really are. Who you really are. So a part of me knew that I was something more than unworthy. And I started to affirm, this was way before I could affirm that I'm a unique divine expression, but that I'm a child of God. That came first. I'm a child of God. And that God gives me the kingdom. And the kingdom of God is at hand. And the kingdom of God is within me. That, I start to wrap my head and my heart around that and live through that. And eventually got to where I am now. To call into good and to know that the good is always mine to call. Always mine. You don't have to wait for anybody to give you anything in life. You get to call it in. You get to say at any moment, I am reborn as this. That's what we talked about last week, being reborn. But you got to die to something else first before you can call in the other existence, the other expression, the more expansive expression about who we are. You got to be there first. So even if you don't know what you're moving towards, don't be afraid to say, this ain't it. This isn't happening anymore. You may not know why it's not going to happen anymore. You just need to know you're done. And there might be somebody you got to say to, I'm done with this. I'm done with this. You can't treat me like that anymore. You can't talk to me like that anymore. And they can either go away or they can shift. It's up to them. And you get to have freedom. You get to have goodness, more goodness. And you might have to grieve what goes away, because I did grieve some of those relationships that had to go away. Some of them were girlfriends I've been, hanging out with. And then I thought, I don't know, we're probably not really friends, because I don't really know what's up with them other than the fact that we love to have a good time. I don't really know who they are, what they love, what their dreams are, what their pain is, what their sadness is, what they grieve. I don't know that, because we don't talk about that. All we talk about is the latest song, and what are we going to wear, what time are we going to meet, where are we going to eat afterwards. Okay, see you tomorrow night. We didn't talk about anything that mattered. So they weren't really my friends. They were hangout buddies. All that started to go away. In fact, I had one try to pop up. Decades later, she was calling me. Like a couple of years ago. I'm like, what? I don't even know who you are anymore. Like, what? Okay. Yeah, bye. But that's all she wanted to talk about was that life whenever she called. And I said, that is like so far away. Yes, I remember some of the songs we danced to. I remember some of the places we went. And so I am so some other place right now. So I got nothing when you call. I didn't. I said, but I enjoyed the years we had together. But this doesn't work for me anymore. You got to know, and you got to be brave and know that that is you, and you can stand in that decision, even though you don't know what's beyond it. Because what's beyond it can't come in until you let go of the garbage. So you got to be willing to let go. That's a choice for you. And sometimes we got to let go several times a day. For a while, as we step into 2024 and living the life abundant, there are going to be times during the day you're going to have to pull up and say, oh, there I go again. Stop saying you're broke. Stop saying you'll never be loved again. Stop saying you can't be healthy. Stop saying you're too old. Stop saying you don't have any friends. Stop saying you're on a fixed income. Stop saying it's all downhill from here. What are you saying to yourself? And what do you want to give away? What is it you need to drop? Make the decision and make it fearlessly.
All the above.
All of the above. What is it? What is it? We're deciding today what that is. Most of you already know, don't you? You know what you need to give up. Again, the why doesn't matter. The how after you give it up doesn't matter right now. All you have to do is say yes to giving something up. It might be unworthiness, like I have. I still have some unworthiness I need to give up. There's still some times where I think I'm not worthy of that much good. where I think, okay, this is it, there's no more. But because we are divine beings, because we are creators as well as created to be here in life, we have infinite choices and infinite life. And I don't know, maybe we choose each iteration that we are. Maybe we get to choose whether we come back after this physical body is gone. I don't know. But I know I have choices in every moment. And once you open the door to goodness, goodness is always going to be knocking for you. Once you say yes to goodness in one area of your life, you don't have to worry about those doors opening into other areas of your life because it'll seep into those other areas. You won't be able to stop it unless you really are afraid of goodness, and some of us are. Some of us are afraid of goodness. Some of us are afraid of deep, abiding love. Some of us are afraid of being abundant. It's okay. Like Emmett Fox was saying in The Power of Constructive Thinking that I just read, choose differently. There's either fear or love. Move away from the fear, advance towards love. Love for yourself. Love for this reverence of life that is God, that is you. And choose that all the time. And if you don't know what that means, ask. And it shall be given to you. Ask in your meditation time, in your quiet time. Ask. What is true love? And how do I open my arms to it? And you'll get an answer. What is real abiding abundance, overflowing abundance, and how do I open my arms to it? What is vitality at any age, and how do I open my arms to that? What does a healthy, loving relationship look like, and how do I open my arms to that? Some of us live with people we have trouble loving, or who we are afraid to love. Sometimes we got to ask, what would that look like? Tell me, and you'll get an answer. You'll get an answer. So now we're in a place of willingness. This is December 31st. And tomorrow starts our meditation practice, our 100 days journey to the secret place. 100 days straight of meditation. Giving yourself the gift of silence and peace and that oneness with God, which you always are, but which we don't discern, we don't feel because we don't spend time in the quiet. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. So if you're willing, we start tomorrow. We'll take this journey together. But start wrapping your mind around what is it you're going to give away and what is it you want. What do you truly, truly want in 2024? I don't care how long it's been since you've had it or if you've never ever had whatever it is you're calling in. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? When's the last time somebody asked you, what do you want? You can have whatever you want. And you can have it. That's what Spirit says to you in every single moment. What do you want? Tell me your heart's desire. And if you claim it and you believe in it and you give thanks for it, I will hand it to you. Hand it to you. What do you want, my friends? Because we're going to step into something new in 2024 together. You don't have to do it by yourself. That's what spiritual family is for. It's what spiritual community is for, that we take these journeys together. So let's take a deep breath and take this into meditation. So let's get quiet.
And feel those answers to the what do I want as this golden light in the center of your being, unwavering, born of love, born of the possibilities that God pours in through you. And in your vision, imagine that you've opened up to the heavens. And that light, just bright, bright light pouring down through the top of your head, connecting with that deepest wish of your heart. Pouring out through your hands, radiating so strongly, all you see is the light now. Not a body, no preconceived ideas, nothing that would limit at all. What if God says yes? And imagine that this light is like a shower over you in this time. And as you watch, you see all of those other preconceptions falling away. All of those limiting thoughts, all the self-talk, all the doubts, any reasons you had for not doing those heart's desire things. You watch them falling away, and you may see something you know, or it may just feel like residue. And then notice. Just notice what things are, maybe you're clinging to a bit. Like, well, maybe I need that limitation. Maybe somehow that you think that keeps you safe. What if you knew your safety is in that bright, bright light and letting it go? Just letting it go so that you open to the allness. And noticing those things. What is that? Give it name. What do you let go of today? What do you say, God, I entrust you. I put this in the light so that I may watch you scatter the darkness and let me see the truth of ourselves as this infinite grace. And you may see one or two things, you may see a theme, but what are those things that you would let go of in this time with no limitation? And imagine that it is a slip of paper in your hand that you will willingly release. And so in this time, we will make that so physical. We're going to give you some papers.
So the little slip of paper that is blank, that is dissolving paper. And on that little slip of paper, you're going to write what it is you're letting go of today, in this moment. And then one at a time, we're going to come up, and you're going to put your dissolving paper in the water, stir it, and watch whatever it is dissolve. And as it's dissolving, I want you to know in your heart and affirm for yourself that whatever it is you're letting go of is disappearing from your life. So this is just a visual representation of you letting go in consciousness of what no longer serves you. What are you saying no to today?
There are pens in the backs of the chair in front of you or next to you if you're not in the room, but yes.
The postcard that has a quote on it, hold on to that for something else after we're done letting go.
And we have a few extra pens if you can't locate them.
Take your time. Whenever you're ready, just file up a few people at a time. You can come up and dissolve your paper into the water. And so let's hold space for people as they come up. Take a deep breath, letting it go. Let it go, knowing that we have the power to release and to renounce all that we want to be done with. So here in this moment, we call it truly done. Truly done. All of it. 100% of it. And if it ever pops up in your mind again, if the pattern starts to come back again, you get to say in that moment, I am done. Go away. I am done with this. From stepping into a new expression in my life. And I am calling in good. I'm letting go of fear in this area. And I am calling in love. Divine love which heals all things, bears all things, harmonizes and unifies all things. What is that good that you're calling in? Now that you have space in your consciousness, in your living, now that you have space in who you are for something else, something better, what is it? Call it in. Perhaps it's one word. Maybe an affirmation is starting to form in your mind. And as you know what that is, I want you to write it on the back of that card. Write it down for yourself in words that resonate with your heart. In words that speak to your soul. What are you calling in? Put it in present tense, as if you already have it. Clear and concise. Give no consideration to how it will manifest, when it will show up. Be fearless. Include some statement of being grateful for it, because as soon as we get into gratitude, you give it permission to flood forward into your life. And you're signaling to the universe, to spirit, that you are ready for this gift. You state it, you claim it in present tense, and you give thanks for it. This card is for you, for your eyes only, for your heart only. You're going to keep it throughout the year. You're going to look at it throughout the day. You're going to start to have it memorized so that you can call it up when you need it. When the old pattern shows up, when the thing that you let go of starts to peek around the corner, you start to affirm what you're calling in. What is that thing? Be fearless. No judgment. No half measures. No crumbs. Arms open wide. Arms open wide. In this moment, Spirit is saying, what do you truly want? What do you want? I will overflow it into your life. I've been waiting for you to claim it. Don't worry about it being articulated perfectly. You can always revise it later. What's the goodness you're calling in? And here in this moment, I want you to give thanks for it. Thank you, Spirit, for overflowing this into my life. Easily, gracefully. Thank you for all good things. So just let yourself be with it. Let yourself be with it. Take a deep breath, breathe in, exhale. Breathe in again. Know that what you've written down is yours already in pure potentiality. Already, the universe is starting to respond. A billion different things are shifting in the universe to bring you what you have claimed and given thanks for. It's already starting to happen. It's already on its way to you. It is already on its way. It is yours in pure potentiality, here and now, simply because you said yes and thank you. Simply because you said yes and thank you. So let's take another deep breath. And pick up your card to the side where it says let go and let go, let God and let go. Let's read together this quote. You ready? I trust in the creative power of my innate divinity. All that I see, believe, and celebrate is made manifest in ways far better than I could have imagined. We see it, we believe it, we celebrate it. It is done. It is done. Whenever you start to doubt, I want you to say to yourself, it is done. It is done. It is done. And so it is, and so it shall be.